So whether you're super excited for school to be back in session or you're still struggling to let summer go, in today's video I'm going to walk you through a couple of systems that you can set ahead of time and some Dollar Tree products that you can utilize to make going back to school a little bit easier. So stay tuned. Hey, I'm Lindsay with Organize to Save, and on this channel we are all about budget organizing and making it simple so that way you can easily implement the steps. So today we are talking about back to school. Several of your kiddos, I'm sure, are probably already back to school or headed back to school soon. And it can be a very stressful time of year. There's so many things to think about, all the school supplies that you need to get, making sure that you actually have clothes that fit your kiddos. Today I want to talk you through a couple steps that you can implement in order to make things run so much smoother the first couple weeks of school. So first, before your kiddos go back to school, or you can even do this after school starts, you want to make sure that your kiddos are all ready to go with clothes for the school year. Now, we typically don't buy a whole lot of new clothes, but I do like to inventory our clothes beforehand. So that way I know exactly what we might need to be shopping for. And then another great hack that you can do with your kiddos, actually plan out outfits for the week. So this is something that I would suggest you typically do over the weekend and pick out clothes for the entire week. You can do this on your own or get your kids involved. Have them pick 5 different outfits for each school day and have them ready to go in their closets or set out somewhere so that they can easily get to them and make getting ready for school so much easier. The school year can become so hectic with all of the different holidays to think about, breaks, not to mention all of your kiddos' activities that you have going on. So it's going to be essential that you make sure that you have them all written down at the beginning of the year. So what I actually did was I sat down and put them all into my digital planner, and then I also took it one step further and I found this amazing calendar at the Dollar Tree, and I have it hanging up in my office. So that way, as I am planning out my video content for you guys, I make sure that I can plan ahead of time when I know that my daughter's going to be home, for example, over like Christmas break. I know that we're going to have a couple weeks there that I'm going to have to pre-plan my content, so I'm not having to worry about filming things while we're off having our holiday fun. So get yourself a calendar, write down all of the dates ahead of time. Most schools, you can find those right on their website, so I simply just pull them up on my phone, put them on my calendar, and now I have peace of mind that I can know exactly what the school year is most likely going to look like for us. Now, during the first few weeks of school, it might be a little difficult for you to adjust to a new schedule. I know for us, our schedule is very different from what it was last year because my daughter is now in the afternoon class. So I'm kind of having to switch up how we schedule our days, which is also going to make meal times a little bit more challenging. So one thing that I did over a weekend, I took some time and pre-planned out some freezer meals that I can have stashed away for those crazy days that I know I'm not going to have time to cook dinner. So if you follow me over on Instagram, I actually took you guys through this whole process, showed you what I was making, and I saved it in my food prep highlights. So make sure you're following me on Instagram because you guys get a ton of behind the scenes information and extra hacks throughout the week. I actually picked up a couple supplies from the Dollar Tree in order to do this, and now I'm going to have some really good healthy meals in my freezer stashed away for those crazy nights. Also think about your lunches. Did you know that you can freeze sandwiches so that way you pull them out in the morning, pop them in their lunch bags, and they're de-thawed by lunchtime? Yes, you can. I actually used some Dollar Tree bins that I had on hand already. They're just the canned storage ones, and that is what I put all of our sandwiches in. So now they're easily filed away. I have peanut butter and jelly on one side, the meat sandwiches on the other, and it's gonna make the school year so much easier. Now my daughter is not taking a lunch to school, but for us, our mornings are going to be booked with play dates and therapy, so making lunch is going to be a little bit more difficult. So I know on those days that we're going to be out and about and have a very short time frame for lunch, I can just simply pull out a couple sandwiches, pop them in the fridge, so that way at lunchtime we've got sandwiches all ready to go, and it's one less thing for this mama to worry about. You can also do this with breakfast. I like to do this year-round where I will just make up a big batch of pancakes or muffins. This is what we have leftovers. So that way on those crazy mornings when nobody's ready to wake up yet, you can simply just pull them out of your freezer, pop them in the microwave, and you are good to go. So make sure that you're planning ahead and making things that are going to be super easy for you to pull out for breakfast or lunch. All right, now with your kiddos going back to school, you got to figure out where you're going to put that backpack, because heaven knows that you don't want to be stumbling across kids' backpack or shoes or coats just laying at the door. So what we're doing that's different this year is I actually put a command hook right on the wall at my daughter's level. So that way when she comes home from school, she knows that she can hang up her coat and her backpack all by herself. So it's an added responsibility that I'm giving her this year, and then that way she can actually pull out her artwork after school. We can go hang it up in our playroom, which brings us to the next step, is to have somewhere for all of the paperwork to go. We all know, if you watched my artwork storing video, which I will leave a link down below, that kiddos can bring home a lot of artwork, and it's fun to display it throughout the year. So we actually have just some clipboards from the Dollar Tree hung up in our playroom on the wall, so that way we can rotate them throughout the year. Once we have a new piece that comes in, we need to take one down, and I simply just stash them in my playroom in our little art caddy, and then every couple of months I will go through that and now put them all into my new storage system. So make sure that you have somewhere to display all of the artwork that's coming in, whether it be on your fridge or a system like this utilizing the clipboards from the Dollar Tree. Other thing that you're going to want to make sure is that you have a command center in place. So that way all of those permission slip forms or reminders from the teachers that come home do not get lost. So I just have a magnet and cork board that I have hung up in our command center, and anything of that nature can go right up there so I don't miss anything that's very important that's coming home from school. Another thing that you're going to want to think about is creating a homework station. Or for my daughter, since she's only in preschool, I wanted somewhere that she can have some creative time after school or before school. So I just created this little art caddy, which you could easily turn this into a homework station, put file folders in there so that you can store all of your kiddos' homework in there for them to work on throughout the week. But ours is just a simple little caddy. You can find these at the Dollar Tree, or this one I actually just found at Walmart for only 98 cents. So I saved a couple of cents. Ours is just stacked full of crayons and activity books. You could always put supplies that your kiddo might need in order to do their schoolwork or get their crafting on. So if you're still drowning in artwork from last year, make sure to check out the video on your screen right now, as it's going to walk you through a really easy kids memorabilia caddy that you can store all of those precious memories. We'll see you over there.